Rickey Smiley Morning Show. The most funny in the morning. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
Just another day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Ladies and gentlemen, the senior pastor of Friendship West Missionary Baptist Church, Dallas, Texas, Pastor Frederick Douglas Haynes. Pastor Haynes, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Rickey Smiley and the Rickey Smiley Morning Show family. Love you so much. Praying for you, praise God for you, while I'm still laughing from some stuff y'all said yesterday. Y'all crazy. Anyway, let me give it to you like this. Today's song is by the great Marvin Sapp. Perfect Peace. Perfect peace. Oh, my God, how we need this in light of all that is going on in this insane world. The world is just going to hell in a head. That's what some folk would say. Our nation is sick. That's what Dr. King would say. The times we live in are a hot mess. Every time there's a press conference, we find ourselves attacked by anxiety. Listen, stuff is happening, y'all, and whatever else I've discovered, we need to have within us that kind of internal fortitude, that kind of internal thermostat. I think that's the word I'm looking for, thermostat, because a thermostat is not like a thermometer. A thermometer, watch this, is controlled by what's happening around it, but a thermostat, it regulates what's on the inside in spite of what's happening on the outside. That's what peace is. Peace basically says you may not control everything that's happening around you, but you can regulate your internal atmosphere. You can, in a real sense, have an internal infrastructure that is so strong that you are at peace. You have peace of mind in spite of the pressure that life tries to put on you. And y'all know that's real Bible, because the Bible says, be anxious for nothing, but by everything with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace of God that passeth all understanding will guard your heart and minds through Christ Jesus. Listen, God will give you such peace that people will wonder how you're keeping it together when your world is falling apart. And the reason I had to give y'all that passage I just shared with you about be anxious for nothing is that science finally caught up with what Scripture says, because science has come out with a study last year that said that there is an understanding, watch this, that anxiety and depreciation cannot coexist in the same headspace. Listen, when you are grateful and have an attitude of gratitude, anxiety can't hang out there. I'm going to give you the text one more time. Be anxious for nothing, but by everything with prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God, and God's peace, there it is, will guard your heart and guard your mind. I'm simply saying, y'all, God will give you perfect peace that passes all understanding. God bless you. Y'all be at peace and have a blessed day.
There it is, Pastor Haynes, man, the senior pastor of Friendship West Missionary Baptist Church. Let's get into this music. Love you, Pastor Haynes.
Yes, sir. Love you, Ricky. Have a great one.
Yes, sir. You too. Let's go.
News headlines,
Entertainment.
sports.
It's the front page on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
All right, 13 minutes after the hour, y'all got your front page right here. Alfreda's, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. It's Wednesday, April 30th. Here's what's happening in the news. Trump just dropped the axe on Biden's picks for the Holocaust Museum Board, one of them being Kamala Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, who called this move political and disrespectful to Holocaust victims. I'm sure Kamala will be speaking on that today when she gives her first big speech since losing the election. She's expected to drag Trump's economic policies and hint at a possible run for California governor. Reverend Dr. William Barber and two others were arrested in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda while praying against the Republican-led budget, which they say harms the poor by cutting Medicaid.
Save us as a nation from when we turn on one another rather than to one another. Save our leadership.
Capitol Police cleared the rotunda, including media, despite his chronic illness. Barber said he had to endure the pain to highlight injustice. Now listen. If y'all were thinking about getting somebody back by posting their nudies, think again. The House just passed the Take It Down Act, cracking down on revenge porn and AI-generated smut. It protects victims from having explicit images shared without consent, real or deepfake. First Lady Melania Trump actually backed this one, which is interesting since we've seen all her goodies. But I think she posed. I think she posed for those pictures. But I don't.
Did you call it smut?
Yeah, smut. Like,
that's what it's called.
Old school.
Yes.
Damn.
For information on these stories and more, go to the RickySmileyMorningShow.com. Now here's a look at sports.
Rock T, the sports genius, is in the building.
Here we go. Halliburton. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. Halliburton for the lead. 1.3 to go. Pacers by 1.
Indiana Pacers hold on to beat the Milwaukee Bucks in overtime to send the Bucks home packing, and the Indiana Pacers advance to the next round in NBA playoffs. Detroit Pistons beat the Knicks. They win Game 5. They down 3-2. Celtics eliminate Orlando Magic. They advance, and the Denver Nuggets beat the Clippers. The Clippers lead that series 3-2. My favorite part of the NBA season is the playoffs because they finally play defense, and it's actually good, entertaining basketball. In the meantime, if you guys don't remember, the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles recently visited the White House to celebrate with President Donald Trump. Players who did not attend was quarterback Jalen Hurts, wide receivers A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, along with a few other players. Running back Saquon Barkley did attend, and of course he got dragged on the internet for going to attend a president who doesn't support our black community. So it is what it is. That's my quick sports report right there. Bring it intact. You got the hot spot coming up next.
Yes, I do. That means Nelly is calling for positivity after Trump's first 100 days in office. And I'm going to tell you what's going on with that up next in the hot spot on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
The hot spot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
So hot. You can catch me at the hot spot. It's the BR18.
All right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, it is about that time for the hot spot. What up, Brat?
What up, Ricky? Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brat Tat Tat, and this is the hot spot where we bring you music, movies, and more. So let's get off into it. Well, y'all, Nelly is urging the country to unite. After performing at the Stagecoach concert in California this past weekend, Nelly was asked about the outlook on Trump's first 100 days in office, and this is what he had to say.
I'm all for everybody staying positive about any and everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm a glass half full type of guy, and I just am more empowered on bringing people together and making sure that we all get what we need, when we need it, and why we need it.
He obviously don't understand any of the policies or any of those executive orders that have been signed.
He screams Trumper. I mean, who cares? But I'm just saying.
Any of the damage that's been done to real people.
He was being PC. He was trying to be PC at least. So there you go.
What's PC?
Politically correct.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Learn something today.
Yeah, see, look at Jesus.
Want to do it?
Thank you so much. All the time. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, according to reports, potential jurors in Diddy's federal trial will get grilled before they are picked. Jury selection is less than a week away, y'all, in Diddy's trial, and his attorneys are submitting 30 questions for the jury pool, and they include topics about their taste in music, views on drugs, celebs, and group sex. Wow. For example, there may be evidence in this case about people engaging in sexual relations with multiple sexual partners. Would hearing about that type of evidence be difficult for you, is what they asked him. Another example, do you believe that wealthy people get away with things that less wealthy people do not? That's another question. His attorneys also plan to ask what kind of music prospective jurors listen to and if they have options about hip-hop artists or industry or artists, period. Prosecutors are opposing the defense's effort to have a psychiatrist testify regarding the effects of Diddy's drug and alcohol use during the alleged crimes. Prosecutors allege that Diddy used drugs to make his victims more compliant. Jury selection is slated to begin on May 5th. Everybody gonna be glued to their TVs. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be like the Michael Jackson trial or the OJ situation.
They really trying to make sure that they get a jury that's fair by asking them those questions.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's important because, you know, I think it needs to be a fair trial. So that's how they going to pick them. All right, y'all, moving on. Brian McKnight is suing Jaguar Wright for defamation over claims that he abused his ex-wife and some prostitutes. The R&B singer just filed a suit against Jaguar for blatant lies. McKnight claims Jaguar went on social media and alleged that he was hiring prostitutes and physically abusing them during sexual encounters. He says that never happened. He claims that Jaguar also alleged that he was an abusive husband to his ex-wife, Julie McKnight, who Jaguar claims is her cousin. Brian says he never abused his ex-wife and had no idea about her alleged relation to Jaguar. Wow. For more information on these stories and more, y'all can go to RickySmileyMorningShow.com, and you can catch me on all my social media at Brat. Coming up next, we got Rock T with that HBCU. Know who we repping today, Rock T?
Rickey, tell us how at Virginia State University this morning.
Okay.
It's coming up next on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Pimpin'.
Now you know.
And if you don't know, now you know.
HBCU. Hey, what it is, man? Rock T is in the house for another HBCU. You gonna always put a spotlight on our heroes and sheroes that attended or currently attend our historically black colleges and universities. Oh, we finna head to Virginia State University, established in 1882. Shout out to the blue and orange Trojans. What? Also, shout out to the Trojan Explosion Marching Band, baby. Oh, we got a shout out to the cheer squad, the Woo-Woos. Let's talk about one of y'all's former graduates. Dr. Gladys West graduated in 1952 with a Bachelor's of Science degree in mathematics, contributed to the development of the global positioning system that we all know as GPS. Member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, was inducted into the United States Air Force Hall of Fame in 2018. And oh, by the way, also awarded the Webby Lifetime Achievement Award for the development of the satellite geodesy models. I'm gonna stop right there. Dr. Gladys West, another proud HBCU alum of Virginia State University. If you didn't know, now you know. If you want to share your HBCU story, follow us on Instagram and shoot us a DM at HBCU.
All right, y'all, Rick's about the morning show. What you got, Brat?
Well, Ricky, this is a hot topic right now, and we need to discuss it. 100 men versus one gorilla. Who would win? Over the weekend, an ex-user tweeted saying, I think 100 men could beat one gorilla. Everybody just got to be dedicated. Well, the post has so far accumulated more than 200 million views and sparked a fierce debate. Now, some joked about how they react if they were part of the hypothetical endeavor, while others said they thought the men would stand a little chance against the gorilla. Now, for some context, an adult male silverback gorilla weighs between 300 and 500 pounds and is incredibly strong.
All muscle.
Yeah, I know.
Muscle. Right, remember me, you and Hair Crack had that argument?
Yes, sir.
About that. And then one time on Steve's show, Boomerang was sitting up there talking about he could take out a silverback.
Man.
And we argued all morning.
Come on, dog.
Not no one person.
So this is obviously no weapons. This is just hands, right?
Yeah, hands.
Yeah.
No,
man.
sir.
And the gorilla is like between 4 to 9 times stronger than the trained human male. So, is it power in numbers, though? If 100, no, huh?
No, because after he take out that first 20,
They
them
all
other
gonna
80
run.
them other 80 about to get gone.
Ew.
When they see what he do to them first 20.
Right.
I saw a video of a gorilla dragging a man with his fingertips. And that, it probably didn't came up on y'all timeline before. But just to show you the power of a gorilla, he was just walking through, cameraman was out there, and he just grabbed the man by the ankle, barely with his fingertips, and just dragged him on. Then he let him go, just to let him know. Just to let him know.
Don't play with me.
Don't play with me.
Wow.
They are all 100% muscle. You ain't never seen no gorilla with a big stomach.
They got muscles in their feet.
Yeah.
Muscles in their fingers.
They
got.
do. Oh, my God.
You cannot hand-to-hand on a gorilla.
Nothing.
Even if 20 or 30 of them rush him at the same time, what you going to do with
Unless
them?
they all stabbing him at the same time.
No, ain't no weapons.
The
all
Philadelphia
hand on
Eagles couldn't beat one gorilla. The Philadelphia Eagles, and they got big offensive line tackles. You put the offense and the damn defense in a cage with a gorilla. Their gorilla, one by one, will squeeze them that slap your head off.
Yeah.
Don't do
now,
it.
100 of Gary Sorrows might stand a chance because they will windmill him.
They'll slap, but he'll get scared and run.
That gorilla went away.
Yeah.
Is a BMW.
BMW is a car.
Spell BMW.
BMW, D-Y.
If you dig a 6-foot hole, how deep is that hole?
It's about like 20 feet.
1 minus 1 equals.
Equals 35.
What color is a carrot?
Carrot? I think it's a carrot. Carrot, but I don't know about carrots. I don't know nothing about that.
So y'all just gonna go back and pull some of my elementary school tapes. Y'all gonna go back and pull up all of my tapes from school. Cause I swear that was me. I was dumb as hell like that. That was me.
Oh, that's classic.
That was all me right there, Gary.
Hold it. He's half man, half woman. It's Gary. I wanna hip you to the T. It's Gary, baby.
Gary has the tea and the color of the day, Gary.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Wednesday, a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. And here's what's happening in the celebrity news, y'all. The prayer warriors are definitely being solicited, y'all, for Mary J. Blige, honey. Ricky, this is a very sad story, honey. Friends, honey. Now, it's being reported, y'all, that Mary J. Blige, y'all, may be the queen of hip-hop, so they say, but according to a new spicy lawsuit, she might also be the queen of music industry drama. Now, the Grammy-winning icon, y'all, she's facing a $5 million legal bombshell, y'all, from her former stylist turned businesswoman, Miss Misa Hilton. And they're saying, y'all, it's all about loyalty, contracts, and one very unlucky rapper by the name of Bado. And his government name, I had to look him up, is Tyrone Isaiah Winfrey. Y'all, you can look him up. Now, they're saying, y'all, that Misa Hilton, y'all, and her talent agency, Misa Management, says that Mary and her production company, Beautiful Life Production, played puppet master, honey, behind the scenes to pull Vado away from his signed management deal. Now, the lawsuit filed in New York, honey, accuses Mary J. Blige of withholding Vado's completed album and blocking his tour opportunities, all in an effort, y'all, to freeze out Miss Misa Hilton and force y'all a business breakup. Now, they're saying Misa Hilton isn't just any stylist, honey. She helped craft Mary's signature looks, honey, since the early 90s, honey, including those legendary fur coats and thigh-high boots. And they say, yes, honey, this is personal and professional. Now, they're saying Misa and Mary were best friends for years. In fact, they say Mary is the godmother, honey, to Misa's eldest son, Justin, which is the son of Diddy. Because, you know, Misa Hilton had a son with Puffy. That's Justin. Now, they're saying, according to court documents, yes, honey. Now, according to court documents, they say Misa had a signed management agreement, y'all, with Bado that entitled them to 20% of his earnings. And they say, then, not so coincidentally, y'all, they say Mary and Bado dropped a duet called, honey, Still Believe in Love back in 2023, y'all. They say, right? They say, but maybe not. They say by July 2024, Bado had wrapped up a full album, y'all, under Mary's label. But surprise, y'all, they say the lawsuit claims that Mary refused to release it unless Bado ditched Misa. Allegedly, y'all, they say Mary's team started keeping Misa's rep out of key events, including yacht hangouts, private hotel meetings, and exclusive industry soirees. Now, honestly, they said this sounds more like a Real Housewife plot line than a music rollout. They said then there's more. The lawsuit claims y'all that Mary's security chief, who also happens to be described as her boyfriend, wanted to sign Bado himself. Now, they say he allegedly told the rapper to sign a new deal without a lawyer and warned that he'll miss out on a big opportunity, honey, if he stayed with Misa, honey. Yes, Lord. Oh, my God. They say to make matters even messier, they say private messages allegedly show Mary flat out saying that Bado's album and tour were off the table as long as he stayed with Misa. Now, they're saying that the result, they say, according to the suit, Bado was left, honey, in economic servitude, stuck in a deal with no music, no money, and no momentum, y'all. And it just goes on. And this is sad because Mary and Misa, I mean, they've been friends forever, honey. Like they said, honey, she helped her. And, you know, I mean, Brad, what you know about that? Because I know you're good friends with them both. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, but
I saw them together. I think it was Mary's birthday down in Miami, and I ran into them on the dock or whatever, and they came back. They were lit, but I saw them together. Yeah. We all hugged and spoke.
I don't know nothing about this. This is all new to me too. I just know that they've been good friends for years.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
I mean, over 20, 30 years. Yeah. So, I don't know.
It's sad. We just got to pray, though, honey. You know, it's amazing how, you know, people just turn against. But it was alleged, too, that Mary J. Blige and Bado was supposed to have been having a relationship. So, I don't know, but we're just gonna keep them lifted in prayer, and hopefully they come back together. And this is, I know, Ricky, it's sad, so we're gonna follow this story, honey, and hopefully that everything gets well. All right, moving on in other celebrity news, y'all. They say baby Beyonce let y'all have it. Now they're saying, we heard about when Kanye West talked about Plo Lil Rumi and Sir, honey. The reason saying that they were going through issues and what have you. Well, now they're saying that Beyonce, honey, she said, well, I'm gonna fix y'all butts up, honey. I'm gonna bring, honey, little Miss Rumi on stage, and she brought Rumi on stage. They say some celebrities spiral on social media. They say, but Beyonce responded, honey, in the most iconic way, baby, unbothered way possibly, by letting her light shine even brighter. They say recently, honey, the Queen Bey brought her beautiful daughter, Miss Ruby Carter, on stage during the Cowboy Carter tour stop, and they said the moment was pure joy. The 7-year-old, honey, they say one half of Beyonce and Jay-Z's younger twins completely, honey, stole the spotlight with her bubbly energy and infectious smile. Fans couldn't stop talking, y'all, about how adorably excited Ruby looked, y'all, as she soaked in the crowd's love. They're saying Beyonce knows, baby, how to command the stage, but watching little Rumi dancing beside her mom was, honey, next level sweetness. They say it was giving future superstar. It was giving confidence. It was giving, honey, I get it from my mama. But isn't that beautiful? Yes, but people was, they got people still saying stuff.
Oh, Lord. Wow.
They say, honey, Rumi should have governed herself accordingly, though. They said, because she was moving around too much, carrying on a little bit too much, smiling and waving.
That's all right.
Oh, my gosh, she's a child.
Yeah, it don't matter what people say. It was a beautiful moment.
It was a beautiful moment, but then some people saying, honey, they don't know because they say, honey, little Blue Ivy, honey, while real woman was carrying on and stuff, Blue Ivy tapped on the arm. She looked up at Blue Ivy, and Blue Ivy escorted her off the stage. So,
well, that's big sister and little sister. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what a big sister does.
And we will understand it better by and by. By and by, when the morning comes, all the saints. That's we will tell the story of how we come, and we will understand it better. By and by.
So, baby, little Miss Rumi understood it, baby. Honey, she got that little tap on them. Okay, girl, you just smiled and waved enough now, baby.
Yeah.
Time to go.
What? You guys?
Yeah,
that was a beautiful sight, though. It was a beautiful sight to see. I loved it. I was like, okay.
Yeah, somebody's gonna kick our ass, guys.
They are.
On to the next story. We don't play with Jay-Z now.
And yes, no, we don't. Oh, and a quick for free story, y'all. Everybody was raving and how Vanessa and her daughter, Kobe's daughter, honey, were at the concert. How they looked amazing, honey. They're saying that they're really doing a nice mother-daughter thing together, honey. They've been going out together, hanging out with Paul Gusu, how I say his name? Paul Gasol, honey, and his family and stuff. So everybody's just raving, that they're doing a good thing right now. So
one big family. That's beautiful. That's what Kobe would have wanted.
Yeah, but I still have a concern about Paul Gasol, though, but that's neither here nor there. Well, Paul Gasol, honey, that's just a little bit too close for comfort for me, though. But anyway, that's a good big family. All right, the color today, honey, is one of my favorite colors. My color today, y'all, chartreuse. On the hand, you say chartreuse, and on the lawn, you say beautiful yellowish green. That's your color for today, y'all.
Turn chartreuse into a sis.
I
know. Y'all just don't be pronouncing it right. Y'all need to pronounce these words correctly, honey. Y'all be doing it the black way. I do it the way it's supposed to be done.
Oh, okay.
What's your non-pronunciation on word of the day?
I know
Get
you're
that
talking
word
about
of the
nobody.
week. I know.
Nobody. Y'all give it up for Gary with a T if you would. All right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. I got the wake up call. Get at me 866-9RICKEY. Here we go.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's time to get yourself together. Cause he woke you up this morning, slid you in your house shoes, go and be better. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Encourage each other and be productive.
Come on.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Wanna know where you calling from, so come on and tell us and just wake
it up.
Good morning. It's Darren from Houston, Texas. I like to wake up all the Gary Prayer Warriors and all my students from West Side High School. Get up, wake up, wake up.
What's going on? It's your boy Rashawn, man, calling from Baltimore. I want to wake up all my co-workers over there at Baltimore Gas and Electric, man. Have a nice day on this beautiful Wednesday. Wake up, wake up.
This is Kissy from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I want to wake up my family. I love you, Ricky.
Love you.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
You listening on your radio.
Your radio.
Gang of cities tuned in, locked in. What's yours? Cause we gon' let them know.
Let them know then.
Charleston, wake up.
Let's go.
Rouge, wake up.
Tallahassee said,
wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Come on, Montgomery,
Wake up.
Hey, it is about that time for the good, the bad, and the what the hell. And happy day. What is it, Wednesday?
Yes.
Yep. It is Wednesday. This week is flying by.
Right.
And that pollen is still kicking everybody's butt or whatever. Shout out to all the chicks that's waking up talking about some. Shout out to y'all. We want to say good morning to y'all. And Alfredas, you got some good stuff for us this morning.
Yes, I do, Ricky. So a group of courageous Good Samaritans are being hailed as heroes after stepping in to save a woman and 2 little kids from what could have been a devastating situation. This happened in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, it happened in the parking lot of the DMV on North Main Street. According to officers, witnesses saw a man trying to drive away in an SUV while a woman desperately tried to remove her 2 young children. I'm talking 2 years old and 6 months old from the back seat. So they had to be in car seats. Without hesitation, bystanders rushed in. They managed to pull the woman and the kids to safety as the vehicle continued moving. That guy now faces multiple felony charges, including child abuse, false imprisonment, as well as charges for battery and marijuana possession. The woman credits the Good Samaritans for the rescue.
Oh, that's
so good on him.
It's still some good people out here.
Yeah.
And that's why we got the bubble wrapping because, boy. Isn't that bad that we live in a time where it's a shock when people do what's right? We have become so accustomed to wrongdoing that when somebody does something that's right, it's like, oh, my God.
Yeah. Heroes.
You know? So, yeah, I'm glad that went good for them, and we were going to pray for those kids. And, Brent, I know you hate to bring bad news. I know you got something.
I do, Ricky. It was raining money in Illinois after the back door of an armored truck accidentally opened and dropped almost $300,000 in cash.
Won't he do it?
Man, look here. The Brinks truck was traveling west in Chicago when allegedly 3 bags of cash. Baby, yes, it is. And I know how they acted, okay? When the driver returned to that location where that door had opened, they saw between 50 and 100 people removing that money from the scene and fleeing the area, both on foot and in vehicles.
Yes.
Authorities said adding the total loss was about an estimated $300,000. Now, police are asking anybody who picked up the money to return it to the damn police station.
And what is happening at Brat?
The west side of Chicago, baby.
Is that money going back to the police station?
They returning.
Not now dollar.
Hey, Brett.
They returning not now dollar. You hear
Brett,
me?
Not a quarter.
When Pastor said God will open doors that no man.
That's right. They said that's a blessing. It's a blessing. God opened that door.
What you mean? Who is that? Dion Cole. He said when black people find something, we see it as a blessing.
It's a blessing. White people find it, they go to Lost and Found. Black people find it, we consider that a blessing.
Yes, the Lord knew what he was
so
doing.
many black people shouting up in church that Sunday.
Come on, at Christ Temple. Come on now.
God, come on now. Who is that? Is that Pastor Hannah?
Come on, Christ Temple, baby. Bishop Bell, baby. Elder Horde, Bishop Horde, baby.
Yes, sir. Everybody was taking
Christ
off
Temple
running.
Jolly. Yes, come on now.
All right, now we got the weird news. Special K. What is it? The what the hell news?
Yeah, well, a group of kids used a flatulence spray. Yeah, causing crowds to run from a Connecticut beach carnival.
Oh, my God.
The police department wanted to reassure the public who may have seen people running from the carnival that it was a prank and not something more dangerous. In response to a question on social media asking if there were any repercussions for the people involved in the prank, the police said, fortunately, no one was injured, and our main priority at the time was ensuring a safe egress for all carnival attendees. So, yeah. They just smell a little stanky stank.
Spraying what?
Flatulence. You can buy that poop spray.
Right.
Spray, yeah.
And it's real strong. It smell like Gary walked through there. It's real strong.
Where you get that from?
Oh, Lord.
What, poop
You can
spray?
buy it.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have that.
Spencer Gifts. They got Spencer Gifts.
They don't have Spencer's no more. I was just about to bring it. I couldn't think of the name of it. It's Spencer Gifts.
Yeah.
I think Party City got them if they got any more open still.
Yeah, Party City.
You can
was
order
closed.
it still. You can still order it though.
Yeah, flatulence
Boy,
spray.
don't play with it in the wrong place because it be stinking for a minute.
I wonder what do they make the flatulence spray out of? Is it real flatulence, or they just find something to make something to stink?
That's a good question.
Skunk booty.
Smell like zoo dust. Hey, kicking them off, things going down with y'all lying on the ones and twos. Y'all happy Wednesday, man. Hey, man, Memphis, Tennessee. So excited to be there with y'all today, speaking to the kids, speaking to the youth, man. I want to thank Funny Man, comedian Funny Man, for the wonderful opportunity that he provided for me to be able to go up there, speak to the kids today. And everybody, shout out to everybody in Memphis, Tennessee. Pastor Keith Norman, thank you, man. I'm so excited. Anybody, if there's anybody on this earth that do a lot of community service, man, Pastor Keith Norman is one of the best, man. He's going to be there today, man. So I'm just excited for the opportunity to be speaking to kids today. And I'll tell you all about the university where I'm doing the commencement address in South Carolina on Friday. I'll tell you about that tomorrow, but I'm just so excited to be going to Memphis, Tennessee. So looking forward to that. I'm doing positive things in the community, Black Tony. You feel me? You feel me on that? How does it make you feel inside?
Sorry, this ain't got nothing. I can't even deal with that right now. I'm in a real serious situation right now. I'm glad y'all answered the phone because they said I could only make one phone call. I'm not.
You know, comedian Funny Man Jermaine Johnson. You know Jermaine.
Sorry, I know him, but listen.
He a Kappa. He went to Stillman College.
Cuz, is you gonna listen to me or not? These folks not playing with me right now. I died yesterday, shouting. The whole
Wait a minute, what?
Plan didn't work. Yo, I died yesterday. So look, they sent me to purgatory.
Yep.
And they got me no pill. They sent me to purgatory.
Oh, purgatory.
And I'm waiting right now to see, because they said they got to see what I'm for to go to heaven or hell. But the coordinator, the counselor up here told me to hold on. They checking my paperwork because I might come back. They might let me come back.
That's only you dead?
For me to die.
Dead?
Yeah, I died yesterday. But look.
Well, what about, wait, black people have to know? Super Dad, can I get a drum roll? Can I get a drum roll, Super Dad? Oh, wait a minute. You let me get a drum. This is something black people have to know. Black Tony, you ready?
Wait.
Who got the body? Who got the body?
Who got the body?
That's a good question.
Yeah, where you laid up at?
I'm in there alone. Willie Watkins got the body shot. Everybody know that, but listen.
Yeah.
The purgatory folks say I could come back, but somebody got to be there to pick me up from the funeral home, so.
Oh, wait a minute.
So you're between heaven and earth, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Hold on. Hey,
Alfredo, he dead.
Okay.
He had Willie Watkins' funeral home.
Oh.
Listen.
Okay.
Alfredo, the purgatory counselor said that. Hold on. You want to talk to him?
Well.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh. Hi. Yeah, I'm the purgatory counselor.
What?
Yeah. We're trying to determine whether Black Tony is going to heaven or hell. He got himself saved, but he did a lot of sin after that, so he didn't do enough to go to hell, but he didn't save himself enough to go to heaven. Hold on.
What's some of the sin?
Huh?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Let me speak back to him right quick.
Hold on. Hello?
Yeah, what's some of the sin? Yeah, Mr. Dwayne, what's some of the sins that he did that might get him going to hell?
He lay with whores. He stole. He lied. He was supposed to keep his little nephew, and he left him home by himself, and he's only 4. He left him home by himself and went to go lay with whores.
Mr. Dwayne, what's some of the breads that he stole out of, what's that store right where you bought Panera bread? What he stole out of that? What you see on tape, Mr. Dwayne?
Well, we definitely saw him with the rye sourdough and a couple of loaves of the multigrain, but he had an abundance of the purple. The pumpernickel. I'm sorry. I'm back.
And another thing, just because a person does not post their girlfriend, their boyfriend, their husband, or their wife does not mean that they don't have one. You don't post those roaches in your house, but they're in there. You don't post your baby daddy that's laying on your couch playing the game all day, but he in there. Just because a person does not post their girlfriend, their boyfriend, their husband, or their wife does not mean that they don't have one. You don't post those roaches in your house, but they're in there. You don't post your baby daddy that's laying on your couch playing the game all day, but he in there.
It's Gary, baby.
All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 6 minutes after the hour. Gary has a tea in the cooler other day, Gary.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Wednesday, a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. And here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Fat Joe, baby. I ain't heard from Fat Joe in a while, but they're saying, y'all, that Fat Joe is suing, y'all, his former hype man, y'all, after pedophile allegations. Now, they're saying Fat Joe is suing his former hype man, Mr. Terrence T.A. Dixon, y'all, for defamation after Dixon accused him, y'all, of being a pedophile on social media. Now, the rapper claims, y'all, that Dixon is trying to extort honey money, alleging that the hype man fabricated the story of Joe flying a 16-year-old girl across state lines for sex. Now they're saying that Fat Joe's lawyer Tyrone Blackburn is also involved in a separate case, y'all, with Diddy accuser Lil Rodney. Now Fat Joe's legal team, y'all, asserts that the allegations are part of a money grab, as Dixon had been seeking compensation, y'all, from his past work, y'all, with Joe. Now, the partnership began back in 2006, but ended in 2019 without issues until Dixon, y'all, began making public complaints about payments. Now, Fat Joe's attorney, Mr. Joe Tacopina, blasted the defamation claims, calling them part of an extortion scheme and warning y'all Blackburn about recent misconduct. Now, Mr. Blackburn, however, maintains y'all that the lawsuit is a cover-up attempt, y'all. Isn't that so much with these people and friends, today? Mary J. Blige and her friend, and not Fat Joe and his friend. I mean, what is going on? People suing one another. I mean, you're thinking these people your friends and what have you, and, you know, as the song say, friends, how many of us have them, honey? And I just feel bad about this, y'all. I mean, something needs to be done about it, because when you have an allegation like that, honey, to say that somebody is a pedophile, I mean, that's a kind of a hard allegation, huh? I mean,
that's crazy.
It can be criminal. You accuse somebody of it and it's not true.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just a bad thing. So we're going to follow that story, too, honey, and see how that turns out, y'all. But in other celebrity news, y'all, there's a video surfacing, y'all, showing that Shedeur Sanders' JSU teammates, y'all, giving him a dirty look, honey. They're saying a recent research video shows Shedeur Sanders' Jackson State University teammates, honey, giving him dirty looks, honey, in the locker room. Now, the undated video shows Shedeur in the locker room, y'all, with several...
Talking about Cleveland?
No, Jackson. His Jackson State teammates, honey. Former Jackson
3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. They said, honey, that video didn't serve it. They said, honey, the undated video shows Shedeur in the locker room, y'all, with several former teammates who seemed unhappy with the freshman quarterback. They said Shedeur was starting quarterback at JSU for 2 years under his father, then coach Deion Sanders. They said that the video was shot by Deion, who says legendary right here, and freshman of the year, player of the year, you know, like 29 touchdowns and blah, 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 honey. But nevertheless, these kids were getting him a dirty look and stuff. And, you know, a lot of people saying that, you know, I guess they really didn't feel him, you know, at the time, even though, honey, you know, he was, you know, wasn't a star.
In all fairness, I'm looking at the picture you're talking about, and it's just one dude just kind of looking over like somebody took a camera pic. He might not even been looking at Shedeur. He just was looking.
Yeah, well, they said
I think they're making something out of this that ain't.
Pretty much. You think so? Well, we just got to pray because, you know, Diana Ross wrote the song "Dirty Looks," honey. She said,
it's not a bunch of dudes. It's one dude looking over his shoulder, like.
She said, "You giving me dirty looks, honey." So that was a dirty look. So, child, we're gonna go with it.
Gary
and moving on,
it's him.
Yep.
Always.
Moving. Yeah, because, honey, y'all don't see the other people in the room, babe. We just see what the camera took. So it was a lot of other people. So, but nevertheless, he gave a dirty look. All right, moving on.
That's how it be sometimes when you're successful. Yes. When you walking with your chest stuck out and your head up and you got confidence and you done had a father and a grandfather and coaches to put confidence in you, some people can't handle it. They hate to see you walk in the room. Who does he think he is? He's arrogant.
Exactly. Hey, look at all the dirt looks I get from SK. But anyway, y'all, that's neither here nor there. All right, moving on. In other celebrity news, y'all, Tina Knowles, baby, she revealed, y'all, that she put daughters Beyonce and Solange, y'all, in therapy, honey, when they were young, because Beyonce was being mean, honey, to her little sister. Now, in a new interview, honey, with Oprah, honey, they said, Ms. Knowles, honey, Solange faced, y'all, being the sister, honey, the challenges that she faced being the sister of a rising star in a singing group. Now, they're saying sibling rivalry is common growing up, but the challenges, honey, Solange face, y'all, were, honey, unusual due to Beyonce's growing fame. Now, she said, quote, Miss Tina said, I got so scared because they were like little super clothes, honey. That's what Miss Tina told Oprah. Then all of a sudden, Solange was taking Beyonce's stuff, y'all, and Beyonce was kind of being a little mean to her, and I had never seen it before. She said, it scared me to death, y'all. And Miss Tina recalled y'all feeling terrified, honey, when Beyonce's music career took off when she was 10, and Solange was only 5 at the time. She said, as Beyonce practiced with Destiny Child, Solange often felt left out. She would try to choreograph, and, she said she wanted to be involved, and they didn't even want her involved. Tina told, honey, Sarah Snyder, honey, in a separate interview on CNN. The doting mom, honey, began to notice, y'all, that Beyonce's growing hostility toward her little sister. Beyonce would let the other group members talk down to Solange because they saw Beyonce being disrespectful toward her own sister. She said, I started noticing that Beyonce would allow them to talk to her like that, or they would say, okay, Mom, can you get Solange out of here? That's what Miss Tina said. And Tina said she feared for her youngest daughter, honey, being in the shadow of her big sister. She said, I saw a wall between them coming, she said. Tina made the decision, y'all, to put them into therapy to protect Solange, y'all, but her family disagreed. She said, my family was like, you're going to make those girls crazy because, especially in the black community, back then, honey, people didn't go to therapy, Miss Tina said. She said, back then it was really taboo, honey. She said her ex-husband, Matthew, also voiced his concern about putting the girls in therapy. He was like, I just don't know if they're too young, honey, for you to do that. And I'm like, I'm not asking. I'm going to find somebody. And they say Tina found a therapist who was the right fit for the girls. However, she said Beyonce disliked being in therapy, but Solange thrived. She opened up to the therapist and expressed her feelings. She said, unfortunately, the therapy didn't work out for the sisters.
But I just want to say that I know that this is a real touching subject for you, Gary.
Yes.
And things that you tell me in private, I would never, ever sit on a national syndicated radio show like this one and bring it up and stuff, because I know you went through a lot of stuff like this because you have a lot of siblings, and how you talked about how your parents would have your brothers and sisters sitting at the table and they would have you in the corner feeding you your food through a slingshot.
Wait a minute.
But you would never talk about that, though.
No, you never bring that up on the radio.
Don't talk about it. Don't say nothing.
I'm so glad you would never bring that up.
Right. So kind.
Right.
Yeah, so it was a sad situation. So Ricky, don't say nothing else about it. That was between us. All right, the color today is one of my favorite colors. The color today is chartreuse. On the hand you say chartreuse, and on the unit you say yellow green. And don't forget, y'all, May the 9th, honey. May the 9th is Tea Party too, y'all, at the Stardome in Birmingham, Alabama. So go to the stardome.com and get your ticket. And that could be therapy for me, y'all, because I want to see you there, honey. May the 9th. And Ricky, I will never tell you a goddamn thing again. Never.
That goes Sophia.
Brett, I can't breathe.
That goes Sophia.
Brett, I can't. Brett, I can't.
That goes Sophia.
Brett, I got tears.
Stop laughing,
Well, you need to have damn tears coming between your eyes. Yeah, I sit there and try to open up and tell you stuff, but you want to put it all out there in the damn radio.
Nice.
Oh, go to a damn song. What a song.
Health, happiness, and hope. It's Wellness Wednesday on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
All right, so Rickey Smiley Morning Show. April is Autism Awareness Month, and did you know that 1 in 31 children are diagnosed with autism in the United States today, and 1 in 45 adults have autism? And joining us this morning from the ABA Center in Atlanta is the clinical director, Jennifer Lopez, and Bree Phillips, the educational engagement manager. Good morning. Thank y'all so much for coming and bringing awareness to autism this morning. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, jump on
Now,
in, Brent,
okay,
because we
now-
got a lot to talk about this morning.
Yes, we do. For those who may not know, what is ASD, autism spectrum disorder, and how is it typically diagnosed in kids?
You know, that's a great question. This is something that a lot of families really need to know about. So autism is actually a developmental condition. It affects individuals in how they communicate, how they interact with the world, and how they typically experience the world. Everybody needs to know this is not a disease. It's not something to be ashamed about. It's just that the brain works differently. That's what it really is.
So let me ask you, RFK Jr. says that it is caused by maybe the environment, maybe diet, maybe, shots. What is your take on that?
So I always like to refer back to the science, right? What does the science tell us? The science tells us this is not the case, right? The science says, a lot of people like to say, oh, it's the vaccines. No, it's not.
Really?
No, it's not. It's not the vaccines. The science does not back that up. And that's something that we need to really be aware of, right? We need to know why is this happening? It's increased awareness. That's what's happening. Increased awareness. Now we know what to look out for. When we know what to look out for, then we know what to see.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry,
So what
Gary.
are some of the common misconceptions, that people have about autism?
I think misconceptions typically are they don't know how to interact. We don't know what to see. We don't know. They're maybe just act differently, right? These are things that people see in an individual, but I think that's not the case. ASD is something beautiful. It's something that we need to work on. It works different. The brain works differently, but it's not something to be ashamed about.
Well, I know one thing. I'm seeing more and more people with autism than I've ever seen before in my life. I mean, if you meet a person and they don't seem as quote unquote normal as other people, they say, well, they're artistic or what have you and stuff. And I know I have some family members that going through it, and I do know one thing. It costs a lot of money to get treatment when you're going through it, honey, because my family member spent a lot of money to go through the treatment and what have you, but it helped out a lot.
Yeah, most definitely. No, I mean, early intervention is key. If you catch it early on, if you're able to recognize the signs, because you can recognize the signs as early as 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? If you catch those early signs and you get your child into the therapies that they need, ABA specifically, then you're going to not have as much cost towards you. You're going to be able to remediate those signs early, and then we can get them into our typical gen ed population is always our goal, right? But yeah, I think the best thing to do is watch out for those warning signs and make sure that you get in early.
And to Jennifer's point, the amount of awareness and the amount of diagnosis now has increased. So that's why you're seeing so many people or so many children with autism now. They're getting tested earlier, and the testing is more efficient. And so these people, or this influx of people with autism, is apparent now.
Now, Bree, as a parent of a child with autism, what prompted you, to go and, get your daughter tested, and how old was she?
Yeah, so my daughter was 3 years old when we got her tested. We went right down to Marcus Autism in Atlanta, and she experienced behaviors in hand flapping and toe walking, and she had a slight speech delay. And so as a parent, I was kind of worried because I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and seeing her grow up around other children, she just was a little bit abnormal there. So we got her tested, and then we had a title on it. We had a name on it, right? So then I jumped into figuring out how to basically care for my child that's different from other children, and what services that I can provide to her at that point.
Okay, well, once your daughter was formally diagnosed, how did you feel, and then what did you do?
Right. So now we put a title on it. Now we had a name on it, right? So it took a toll because I already thought something was wrong with my baby at first. So now I was like, okay, well, what do I do? How do I raise her in a quote unquote normal environment that we live in, but she sees the world a little differently, or she may react to things a little differently? So I started with obtaining early intervention for her. So we went through what we call a EIP process, and then her EIP turned into an IEP. So that's an individualized educational plan. So that's what she has now. So she has accommodations in school. She'll have small group classrooms. She has preferential seating. She gets extended time on test. And then she's also getting occupational therapy and speech therapy to help her kind of just be normal in what we call our normal environment.
So we know, the journey of a parent with a child who's on the spectrum can be really tricky, at least at times. So how would you say your day-to-day life has changed since this diagnosis?
That's a great question. So every day is a journey, and I kind of turn my why, Lord, why is this happening to me into why not me? You know, you gave me something extra special to care for, so let me figure out what I need to do and how I need to handle her. So our day-to-day journey is different. She's more so, the autism spectrum is wide, right? So my daughter would kind of fall into what we call high functioning, right? So if you see her, she doesn't necessarily look autistic. But if there's a loud noise or if she's in a environment that she's overstimulated, then she can have some sort of reaction. So day-to-day looks different. It just depends on where we are in the moment, how she's feeling, what she wants to do, essentially, because she's still a kid at the end of the day. So it changes and it varies every day.
Well, we're going to continue our conversation on autism and what you need to know with Jennifer Lopez and Bree Phillips from the ABA Center in Atlanta. We'll be talking more on the other side, more about autism coming up next. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. We're talking about autism this morning. Gary is visibly upset this morning. Gary, what's got you really, why is this topic so touching for you?
Yeah, because I have a family member and I know a friend who has a grandchild, that's experiencing autism. And I've just always been, empathetic, toward kids, like that. It's just a sad situation, though. But I'm glad we're talking about it, and I'm able to get this out. So, and I'm learning more about it too as well. So that's a good thing.
Is it anything else you want to? I mean, because if it's having an effect on you like that, ask whatever you like.
Oh yeah, well we've talked about it and stuff. I've asked, and my answers, my questions were definitely answered. But I do have a question about for families who have members who's on the spectrum. I mean, what are the ways that they can offer support or intervention, to the
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think it's really important to look out for those early signs, right? Because a lot of times you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So children, you can start seeing this in children as early as 6 months, right? And typically it's like if they're not speaking, they have limited speech, right? Maybe like 18 to 24 months and there's still no speech. They're avoiding eye contact. Maybe they're lining toys up in a certain way. They're struggling with transitions. They're struggling with like their daily routines. They're not responding to their name when you call them. They're not looking at you, right? These are all early signs that people need to be aware of so that they can help their children as early on. And in regards to like the interventions, I think it's really important to note that applied behavior analysis, ABA, is the leading intervention for individuals with autism. That's the way that we can help build their skills to help remediate those symptoms. At ABA centers, we focus on that early intervention. We help kids as early as possible. We have a zero wait list, which is so important because you want to get help as soon as possible.
Yeah. I just want to know, are there any new developments in research that that you could be, that we all could be excited about?
Yeah, that's a great question too. So ABA, we're always doing research. That is the foundation of our science. Behavior science is constantly looking out for new ways and new forms of treatment. We are now in the process of developing better treatments for individuals that have highly aggressive behaviors, right? So some of these kids are not being treated in centers or in schools because they are just too aggressive or they're just too hard to handle. So now we're working to see what's the best intervention that we can apply for these individuals. And we have found an intervention that is working amazingly. And I'm so proud to say that. That's called skills-based treatment. And now we can help treat them without getting those high excessive behaviors, which is so important.
That is important, and that's great. Bree, let me ask you, what's one thing you wish that people understood about those with autism, and how can the public better support and interact with people on the spectrum?
Yeah, I would say to give more grace and a little bit more patience, right? Yes. We're trying to kind of not necessarily integrate them into our world, but just things that are not catered to them. Just have a little bit more grace and a little more patience. So if you see somebody in the grocery store and you're in line and they're taking a little bit longer, you don't know what those person's deficits are.
Right.
So just to have some patience with them, or if they need a little assistance, or maybe you see a mom with a child who's kind of lashing out, don't necessarily think that that's a bad child, right? They could be experiencing some sensitivity to noise, or the transitional process for maybe even getting out of the car may be too much for them. So I would say patience and grace for sure.
Well, I'm just we got to because we got like 15 seconds. Jennifer and Bree, thank y'all so much for joining us this morning. And let everybody know how they can follow your journey and get more tips on autism.
Thank you so much for having us. So we are at ABA Centers. Please reach out and call us at 844-405-4222 if you're needing services. We are located nationwide currently. So please, and we're in 8 different states. So please reach out to ABA Centers.
All right, y'all give it up for Bree Phillips and Jennifer Lopez from the ABA Center in Atlanta. Thank y'all so much, y'all. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.
Fix your jeans. Fix your jeans.
Comedian Rita, Brent.
All right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. It's about that time for Fix It Jesus with the one and only comedian extraordinaire, Jackson State University's own member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Boy, funny as hell. And she has her own show, Late Nights with Rita Brent. Ladies and gentlemen, Rita Brent.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What up, Rita?
What's up, Ricky? What's up?
Love. We always waiting on to see if Jesus can fix it and if it can be fixed.
Well, I am very excited today because it is a national holiday. Today is my mother's birthday. This is Taurus season. Shout out to my mother. Yeah. So, Ricky, I was thinking about serenading her. I wanted to do it big, you know what I'm saying? And I had a thought, okay? I think it's time for us to maybe update the way we sing Happy Birthday. Now, let me be clear. There's nothing wrong with the Stevie Wonder version. This is not a replacement. I think this should be an addition to the Happy Birthday serenades that we do for our people, okay? So I came across this version, and I want to know what y'all think about it, okay? Here we go.
Nice.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, dear mommy. Happy birthday to your mama. Happy birthday, mommy.
Sound like my homeboy that be laughing.
That's it. I like that version.
That's a lot of vibrato.
A whole lot of vibrato.
Super Dave, don't it sound like the homeboy, one of our homeboy that be laughing? You got that laugh.
That's it. And it just keep going and going.
She sounds just like that. Everybody got that one auntie that laugh like that. Play it again. Super Dave, turn the music down. Play it again, Dave. Boy, that don't sound like Vita Loca. Oh man. And Rita, and that's a real video.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's a whole church service. Now, they didn't get to the "May the good Lord bless you, may bless you." That's the one I wanted to get to. I want to get to that verse. May bless you.
And Rita, let everybody know, how can they follow you and how can they find this video?
All right, you can find me at Rita Brent Comedy. That's RITABRENT Comedy. Happy birthday to my mother. Shout out to everybody. Taurus season. We're going to go ahead and update this birthday version right here. This one right here. Y'all follow me.
News headlines, entertainment, sports. It's the front page on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
It's 24 past the hour and Wednesday, April 30th. Here's what's happening in the news. Severe storms tore through the Pittsburgh area last night, leaving at least 2 people dead and over 400,000 homes and businesses in the dark. Crews are still working to restore electricity, but a lot of folks are waking up without lights, heat, or Wi-Fi. Michelle Obama says Trump still has her losing sleep. In a recent podcast, she said Trump's immigration policies scare her, and she worries about how folks of color are feeling under his influence.
And now that we have leadership that is sort of indiscriminately determining who belongs and who doesn't, and we know that those decisions aren't being made with courts and with due process.
Obama says these immigration policies keep her up at night. Meanwhile, Trump is losing sleep over Amazon possibly tagging products with a tariff surcharge label, basically shading his trade policy. He even called Jeff Bezos directly. Bezos was like, dude, chill. It was just an idea for our bargain site called Amazon Haul. Speaking of Amazon, UPS is cutting 20,000 jobs and closing 73 buildings. Why does that have to do with Amazon? Well, Amazon pulled back, and Trump's new tariffs on China are slowing global trade. Today's your day, Gary. It is National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day.
Oh.
Thousands of furry little cuties are waiting in shelters across the country, side-eyeing that door like, where's my forever family, Gary? So if you've been thinking about it, today's the perfect day to make it happen because lots of shelters are dropping deals and adoption promos. So go meet your new ride or die, Gary. Go do it.
Yeah,
No?
Rottweiler. Yeah, I would love a Rottweiler.
You would not. I said ride or die. But anyway, for information on these stories and more, go to the RickySmileyMorningShow.com. Now here's a look at sports.
Rock T, the sports genius, is in the building.
Here we go. Halliburton. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. Halliburton for the lead. 1.3 to go. Pacers by 1.
Yeah, Indiana Pacers hold on to win to beat the Milwaukee Bucks last night in overtime to advance to the next round of the playoffs. Now, of course, that was Tyrese Halliburton with the game-winning shot, but Tyrese's dad got into Giannis Antetokounmpo's face at the end of the game and was talking trash, had the little towel of his son and everything, and it caused pretty much of a ruckus. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was like, well, he shouldn't be on the court. He shouldn't be talking trash. And Giannis got into each other's face. They was like touching foreheads, and they was just yapping. Shaq and Charles Barkley went at it about this.
No, he's not supposed to be on the court.
Him. It don't
he's
matter.
not supposed to be on the court.
Giannis talked to him. Forget all that.
No, he was on the court.
So what?
No, you think he said something? He probably didn't know who his dad is.
Giannis
His dad is not supposed to be on the court.
Dad is
You
always
can yell
on the
as
court
much you
every
want
game.
to. He's an idiot. If you think that's right, you're an idiot too.
Giannis said something.
No, that's not true. No, I'm just telling you. That dad is an idiot, and if you think he's an idiot, you're an idiot too.
So I'm posting a video on my social right now at Rock T Holla, and I got all angles. It appears, according to the video, it appears that Dad started talking smack first. He was all up in Giannis's face with the towel. Giannis was just looking at him like who is this dude? Like, what you doing, man? And then finally he must have said something, and that sparked Giannis to go up to him, and then the rest is history. So y'all go check my Instagram out at Rock T Holla. Y'all look at the whole video and give me your thoughts and let me know what y'all think. That's my sports report right there. It is what it is. Brat got the hot spot right now.
The hot spot.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
You can catch me at the hot spot. It's the BR18.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Brad Tat. Shut up, Gary. And this is the hot spot where we bring you music, movies, and more. So let's get off into it. Meg Thee Stallion love that chicken from Popeyes because she is opening her own Popeyes location and bringing her signature hottie sauce to the menu.
Okay.
She recently shared a first look at the building, which should be done with construction very soon. And y'all, this is what she had to say.
Okay, so today we are visiting my Popeyes before it opens. It's just bones, but in a few months, it'll be chickens.
Yeah, love it.
I'm so proud of her. This is so dope. Just from the sauce on to your own Popeyes. That is what's up. She reportedly struck a deal that includes 5 franchise unit deals with Popeyes. The collaboration also includes merchandise like bikinis, shirts, hats, tumblers, and Popeyes chicken tenders, plush dog toys. That is what's up. Meg says, I'm not going to sell anything to the hotties without having my own space and own lane. So congratulations to her. What, Gary?
Now, you know she wrong for that.
What's she wrong for what?
Beyonce, honey, put Popeyes on the map. You remember Beyonce loved the Popeyes chicken and the sparkle sauce.
That's fine, but Beyonce got a whole lot of stuff. She got liquor. She got all kind of stuff she doing. She on her tour. Everybody can do a lot of stuff with different things. But Beyonce ain't the only person.
It's enough Popeyes to go around.
Yeah, but she could have did churches or some other chicken place. Honey.
No.
Popeyes
gave her a deal, so she jumped on that deal.
Listen, Popeyes give me a deal. I'm doing one too, damn it, and you would too.
I sure would.
So you can't even say nothing. Right. So how you going to talk about somebody else? You can't say nothing. All right, y'all, moving on.
Nobody wants your thighs.
You like my legs.
Yeah, they like his beans and rice. All
Nah,
right.
thank you.
All right, y'all. Both Halle Berry and Monica Lewinsky have been mentioned in a bunch of rap songs over the years, but they view their mentions very differently. From iconic hip-hop hits like Hurricane Chris's Halle Berry, She Fine, to Kendrick Lamar's Money Trees, and many others, Halle has become the standard of perfection that rappers have admired. Over the weekend, a fan tweeted Halle Berry and said, Halle Berry may be the most rapped about woman in history. Imagine being that fine. And she replied in a retweet and said, I appreciate every rap song reference. What are you guys' favorite? And when asked which reference she liked the most, this is what she said.
I love them all. Every time I hear my name in one, it kind of blows my mind. I'm thinking, they're still talking about me? What the hell is happening in the world?
Halle Berry, Halle Berry, Halle Berry. Halle Berry.
That's what I like. Isn't that Hurricane Chris?
I think so.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, Monica Lewinsky is more often a reference for a sex act that we all remember happening during the Bill Clinton administration. So, understandably, she's not as happy about the mentions, especially this one.
And then he ripped my blouse. He Monica Lewinsky all on my gown.
That's a good song.
My.
That's a great song.
Yeah, that's a great song. You know, and the reference.
Can you explain the reference, though?
No, but the reference wasn't a diss.
No.
It was just a verb, you know, an action. So replying to Halle's post, Monica joked, "Want to trade?" with the wink emoji.
That's funny.
That's funny. She was able to make light and make fun of it because it happened years ago, and I'm sure she's tired of people talking about it. So now she make lights of it and makes it fun. So I think that's real cute. Last but not least, Kendrick Lamar and SZA are continuing to completely dominate the Billboard Hot 100 as Luther remains at the top of the chart for a 10th week in a row. The duo have broken a long-standing record by being the first solo male and female artist to stay on top of the chart for 10 weeks, surpassing Lionel Richie and Diana Ross' Endless Love, which was number 1 for 9 weeks in 1981.
They set the standard, honey.
Luther has become only the 47th song to be number 1 on the chart for at least 10 weeks. The duo just kicked off the Grand National, their tour, and it's already breaking records. On the first stop in Minneapolis, it sold out and grossed over $9 million, making Kendrick the first rapper to gross that much in a single concert. So congratulations are in order to Kendrick Lamar and SZA. They're doing great things, and I heard that show is amazing. I can't wait to see them. All right, y'all, for more information on these stories and more, you can go to RickySmileyMorningShow.com, and you can catch me on all my social media. So Brat. Coming up next, we got the White Stone with the Praise Mixdown. The time now is 28 minutes before the top of the hour. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.